This is the story of one man. A man who saw the consequences of nuclear devastation as a sign. A sign that he should take it upon himself to make things right in the world. And after reaching the penultimate conclusion as to whether he should take sides with humanity, synthetic entities, or dudes that desperately wanted to be Transformers, he decided to go on vacation.
What the hell is that? Oh, this isn't a vacation at all, is it? Is it? Oh, this place is a shithole. Oh, what was that? Oh, this is a bad laser show. This is the worst kind of laser show. God damn it. What an introduction. Oh, pick a door. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger. Fuck it, let's just go for this one. Oh, that's just great. Great door to pick. I'm not liking this at all. No. Ada, go check it out. Oh god. Oh, Ada. Oh, get out of there. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. What are the chances I don't make this jump? Very high. Let's go for it. Shit. Oh, why are there Milox on my vacation? Why? Why? Oh, I finally made it through the Death Trap dungeon. Cappy, I hate you. Your theme park's rubbish. Oh, that's not very PC. I guess it was a different time.
We're so happy to welcome you to Nuka World. System malfunction.
You're still here? Get the hell out of my face, you miserable, dung-sniffing dirt scratcher.
Looks like you've got some faulty programming there. I'll just adjust that real quick. There you go. All better now.
After his traumatizing weekend break, our hero decided that he wouldn't pick a side to fight for. A conflict of interest is exactly what forced him to narrowly avoid a nuclear blast in the first place. So, he chose to become the man who would stand up for the little guy, and help other struggling settlements that would fall under the hardships of the fallout. He returned to his hometown to begin a new life, where he harbored those who were willing to heed his call. But in his absence, these very same people had forgotten all about him. Our hero had neglected them for so long that they had no idea who he was. That, and also he'd undergone reconstructive facial surgery to look like Morgan Freeman. So, he built a podium out of picket fences to announce his return, and his declaration of universal peace. Sadly, the people cared little for our hero's plans. They didn't want a leader, especially one that left them in the middle of nowhere for a few in-game years without so much as a pen letter. Thus, our hero realized he'd have to gain their trust once again if he were to lead them to prosperity. He agreed to help neighboring settlements to prove he could do the same for his own. Unfortunately, our hero failed his first mission by murdering everyone in the town he was sent to protect. He'd mistaken its inhabitants for ghouls. Well, they were ghouls, but friendly ghouls. Either way, they're all dead, so it doesn't really matter anyway. This was our hero's first mistake. Aside from murdering a bunch of innocent people, he'd put his faith in places where it did little good. Our hero began to realize that these small favors would not be enough, that other settlements were doomed to the obscurity of frequently random hardships, and that Preston was not the right man to listen to. Our hero decided to create an economically viable string of small businesses. He would offer people jobs so they weren't bored out of their minds, and in return, a livelihood of commerce would flourish, bringing purpose and meaning to the monotony that was life after annihilation. He sold everything a wasteland wanderer might need, at incredibly low prices. 2-for-1 Fridays was a rip-roaring success. However, nice dresses and stable nourishment wasn't going to fend off a bunch of raiding super mutants, so our hero quickly moved into a new line of trade. Arms dealing to be exact. However, now that the people had guns, they no longer needed our hero's services, seeing as how they had the means to provide for themselves via heavy artillery. Thus, our hero needed to do something in order to garner a greater reputation and make his followers believe he could perform miracles. Luckily, our hero could perform miracles. He had the amazing ability to duplicate certain items at will, using a glitch that is yet to be rectified. Seriously, you just press 3 buttons and boom, you're riding the free shit train. Keep in mind that our hero could only perform this miracle with certain items, and while this might incur a hindrance to the rejuvenation of a diversified market, he found a way to create a whole new product line and provide a service that in these times would go unregulated. As a precaution, our hero established that his new line of work was in baking and that he'd opened a bakery, when in actuality he was making hardcore drugs. Nonetheless, business was booming again, because everyone likes drugs. Through this avenue of chemical enlightenment, our hero became a self-made millionaire with more money than sense. Hell, even his dog was rich. As time passed, our hero began to run out of customers, because contrary to popular belief, drugs and guns are not a good mix. Thus, he wound up with more narcotics than he could possibly sell in a lifetime, and like every crime gangster movie protagonist out there, he'd forgotten what the purpose of his actions were, and soon fell into the decline of what we'll refer to as the Tony Montana effect. He woke up one day in the middle of nowhere, whacked out of his gorge standing next to a dead body with impeccable abs. That was the day he would have realized his brain was completely fried, had his brain not been completely fried. After so many years of frequently getting high off his own supply, our hero now referred to himself as Bearhead, because he wore a bear head he found on a beach and decided that was what he would call himself from now on. Bearhead spent the remainder of his paranoid days camping out in the wilderness. Whether it was because he was ashamed of his actions, or because he actually thought he was a bear, remains an uncertainty. He survived by sucking the nutrients out of Mirelurk eggs, and scavenging whatever he could find from raiders. Even though they were cannibalistic maniacs, the raiders feared Bearhead, because he had a huge axe and a gun that fired explosive cannonballs. It's rumored that Bearhead disappeared altogether after his duplication miracle was considered witchcraft and eventually patched out of the game. But it's safe to say that if you buy Jet, it'll most likely have been made by our hero at some point. Some people believe that if you say Bearhead in front of a mirror 3 times, you'll have said Bearhead to yourself 3 times, and that you're a superstitious idiot. Regardless, Bearhead spent the remainder of his days a crazed psychopath handing out free lobotomies. If there was a point to be made with this whole story, I forgot what it was a long time ago.
Take a hike.